Good morning, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How y'all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all doing good. And Manchester United win a game, guys. What a great feeling. Manchester United defeat Chelsea by 2-1. I'm going to be digesting that. I'm going to be going through the ins and outs about the performance, guys. I want to bring in positives. I want to bring in where we can improve as well, because there were, in my opinion, quite a few things that I want to talk about in regards to decision-making from the manager, of course, and obviously the players as well. Lots of things I want to delve into in regards to the match. Very happy with the result. Let me clear it up. Absolutely delighted with the result. I would have took that before the game. Prediction was 2-1 for me. Should it have been more? It doesn't really matter. We won the game and 3 points is 3 points, guys. Thank you so much, everyone who's joined me today. Please don't forget to smash a like on this Sunday morning, guys, please. If you love Man United, smash a like on the video, guys. Really appreciate you all. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Now, look, guys, I don't want to look. I want to digest the game in a way that I felt that Man United, when we started the game, we were very good. I felt like even before they went down to 10 men, I felt Man United were on the initiative, so to speak. We were doing well, and we were attacking. And I did say it before the red card that we look good here. We look potent. Obviously, it's all hypotheticals. What would have happened if the goalkeeper didn't get sent off? What would have happened with Man United? Would we have won the game? Etc. Look, I firmly believe that sometimes when a team goes down to 10 men, sometimes it becomes a little bit more difficult. It does sometimes, because obviously what Chelsea did, which I feel like was Enzo Maresca's mistake, is that he brought off all his attacking prowesses, in particular Palmer, who I felt he shouldn't have made mistakes. So he needs to be scrutinized in regards to that, because I felt that Chelsea went too defensive. And obviously with the goal, going ahead and then going 2-0 up, Man United should have cruised the game, should have been 4 or 5-0. We know that, of course. But as we know, Man United had a serious problem with decision-making, especially in the final third. And I highlight people like Ahmad, who I feel like is greedy. And I feel like he's got the Garnacho, I wouldn't say disease, but he's got the Garnacho sort of characteristics, what he's doing at the moment in regards to not making the right pass, not passing at the right time. And there was numerous opportunities for Ahmad to pass the ball. Okay, so Ahmad's been at the club a long time. He knows about Man United. So, he should be able to basically do the basics right by now as an, I wouldn't call him a senior member of the team, but he is a consistent starter in his football team. And I would say that almost cost us yesterday. In regards to Ruben Amram, I felt Ruben Amram, I felt he didn't manage the game well. He won the game, fair enough. He didn't manage the game well. He made the wrong substitutions. We said it. He went too defensive, and forgetting that it was 10 against 10, not 11 against 10. He went too defensive, in my opinion. He should have kept Sesko on the pitch to hold up the ball, bring other players into play, etc. But you know what? In football, you're going to learn. You're going to learn. He's going to learn. He's a young manager. He will learn these things as he goes along. And ultimately, we would have all taken 2-1 win yesterday. And that is what it is all about yesterday, the 2-1 win. Casemiro was a little bit foolish on the red card, I felt. But it wasn't a red card for me. It was very harsh. I felt like the referee was just trying to equal the scores. And he was so quick to bring out his red card, in my opinion. But there are a number of teething problems. But the overriding feedback I get from this game is that I haven't really learned much, right? I haven't really learned much. I know that we can win these games. I know that. We've done it before. We haven't lost to Chelsea since 2013, right? What I want to see now is I want to see Man United dust themselves off and go again against Brentford. And that, for me, is the ultimate test. That's bigger test than Chelsea for me, because those are the games that we've become unstuck over the last few years. We've been really disappointing over the last few years when we played the likes of Brentford and we played other teams in that sort of area, Brighton, Newcastle, Tottenham. We lose these games. And I want to see characteristics from Man United. Now, look, you can't change the spots on the leopard. Man United played Bruno in midfield yesterday. It was the wrong decision, in my opinion. I know in hindsight we won the game, but, I felt like that lineup was self-perseverance rather than thinking about the future, if you know what I mean. I don't think that lineup's gonna get you far, because we tried it before. Very impressed with Bremo again. Brilliant from Bremo again, and I feel like he's coming leaps and bounds. He really is. Everything that was dangerous on Man United's attacking play came through Bremo. including the red card. Of course, great flick from Sesko in Bremer get on the end of the ball. And it was a red card. And a little bit of fortune for Manchester United. I mean, at last, Man United get a little bit of fortune. I mean, God forbid, Man United get a little bit of fortune. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I would say. But delighted in the end. But obviously, lots of issues that we need to fix before the game against Brentford, because we're not going to get this luck again. We're not going to get 10 men Brentford. And Brentford, let's be fair, are doing well this season so far. I think we could beat them. But we have to prove that we can. We have to go out there and do it, because I've seen a lot of games against Brentford where we've been smashed 4. You know what I mean? 4-0, 4-1, whatever it was. And I think that now we need to make a statement. We beat Brentford. We beat Sunderland 3 in a row. That is a statement for me. That's a proper statement. It means nothing if you beat Chelsea and then you go on to lose to Brentford or don't beat Brentford. You know what I mean? I just feel like those are the sort of games, the Premier League games, when it gets to nitty-gritty, those are the sort of games that you need to win. Guys, that's it. I want to know your thoughts on the game. Very important to know your thoughts, guys. I want to know the positives. I want to know the negatives. It's not all negative. It's not all positive. But what I would say, the overriding positive is that we won the game. That's the most important thing. We won the game. We held on in the end. We shouldn't have held on. We should have won it comfortably. But it is what it is, and we got the win. Because we could be easily sitting here today, having not won the game, moaning and groaning. But look, we have to have a conversation about certain parts of the game. We have to have a conversation about Ahmad. We have to have a conversation about the Bruno situation midfield. We've got to have a conversation about that. We have to talk about that, because we're thinking of the long term. We're thinking about the substitutions, for example. Is this a long-term mentality? Is this a long-term? Are we thinking too short-term? Is Ruben Amorim thinking too short-term? Ruben Amorim did say we made it too complicated. I say he made it too complicated. I think he made the game too complicated. Man United should have changed too much. They should have kept the attacking structure. We invited pressure from Chelsea. We invited them to come at us. And in the end, we held on. You know what I mean? And I felt Man United should have been a lot more comfortable. Big up everyone in the stream. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the stream, guys. I hope you're good. Good to see everyone, of course. Good morning, Sanjay. Hope you're doing well. Mazraoui, but positive. Mazraoui and De Ligt are absolutely phenomenal. Again, defensively astute, very good. Again, the problem with Man United is our attacking decision-making from certain players. And we're going down the line of, you know what, we got another Garnacho on our hands with Ahmad, guys. And I don't like singling them out. And I wrote a tweet on Twitter about an old tweet that I wrote about Ahmad, about how I rate him, how I compared him to some greats, you know what I mean, at Man United, the way he plays, the positive nature of his game. But you know what, as the same with Rasmus Højlund, you know, as the same with Garnacho and Sancho and players like that, you know, it's attitude that prevails at the end of the day. It's attitude. It's wanting to improve. I'm not seeing improvement. And no, it's not just down to the manager, guys. It's down to yourself as well. Eric Cantona, David Beckham, all these players took it upon themselves to stay after training, to train every single day. And they were serial winners. You know, they didn't have the ego. They were humble. They kept training and kept improving their craft. You know, and this is the problem that we're having with the modern day player. They already think they've made it, you know, at the end of the day. We have to have a serious conversation about that. Of course, Glasgow Rangers fans have told me something similar. Guys, it used to be a lot more picking out the right ball, but not anymore. We need a better team. We were the better team before. Yeah, we were. But what I would add to that is that Man United have always started games quickly like that and then fade off. You know, we've done that before. And I would say we were the better side, but who knows what would happen over 90 minutes with 11 against 11. Revert 7, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Morning, delighted, absolutely. We capitalised on Maresca's weakness in the first half and second half, same old conservative. But it's the same old problems. We create problems for ourselves. Players not passing the right ball, players trying to do much, trying to be a hero, not finishing the game off. There was an opportunity in that game where Sesko was open in the box for a tap-in, and then our man's doing this little jiggle, and not doing anything, you know, and that's what really irritates me about it. It's about the team, you know. Ahmad and Dorgu play like kids, lots of energy, very good, but their decision-making is well dodgy. I would give Dorgu the benefit of the doubt because Dorgu's only been at the club 8 months, and I wouldn't say too much about Dorgu. Is he the finished product? No, but he's young, and he's not an attacker. He's a left wing back. right? And I think defensively he's very good. He has to improve his crossing, absolutely. But we're talking about a player that has been on loan at Rangers, been on loan at Sunderland, played at Man United for a few years now, and still making the same mistakes now. And in fact, getting worse and not making the right decisions, right? Dorgu's new at Man United. He will come good. I've seen lots of things about Dorgu that I like. There's lots of things that he needs improving. But as a 20-year-old, you're never going to do that, are you? Ahmad, however, is like, he's going down the road of that selfishness, of that Garnacho, Sancho sort of way. You know what I mean? And I don't want that. Tyborg, the strangest thing about yesterday is that the manager was our weakest link and not the players. Hopefully he learns from this. I agree and disagree. I think that Ahmad was a weak link. I think Ahmad had many opportunities to finish the game in regards to passing the ball out to clean players in the box, and Man United would have won more comfortably. The manager can only teach the players so much. The only thing I would criticize Ruben Amorim about was his decision-making in regards to the substitutes, which was wrong. He made the wrong substitutes. Everyone knew that Ahmad should have came off. Sesko should have stayed on. And the reason Sesko should have stayed on, because he can hold up the ball, he can bring other players into play, and he always represents a threat up front. I felt that Ruben Amorim managed the game like we were down to 10 and they had 11 players. That's how we managed the game. It's a little bit cowardice. But I would also bring it into the players. I would also bring it into our attacking players. Apart from Bremo and Sesko, I felt like Ahmad was awful again. And I don't know why these players keep getting picked. I know we haven't got much choice. But what's happening with Xerxes? You know, what's happening with him? What's going on with Xerxes here? Is Xerxes going to get an opportunity? I don't know. But I do think that these players need to understand that it is a team game. It's a team game. And you need to play as a team. You know, not just think about your own self-glory and your stats. And I think this is the problem. It's a multitude of issues that we have. Yes, Ruben Amorim has problems with his in-game management. I know that. He's done it a couple of times now this season, taking off the wrong player. We said it yesterday. We made it difficult for ourselves. When you play a striker up front, it automatically pushes the team forward rather than pushing the team back. And we were more inclined to sit back than to go out and finish the game. Alex Ferguson would have finished the game, aimed at finishing the game. You know, it wasn't 11 against 10. It was 10 against 10, wasn't it? Good morning, Stephen. How you doing, my friend? I'll be doing well. Good to see you. Brentford, Sunderland, a bigger test to come. These are the ones I'm worried about. I wasn't that as worried about Chelsea as I am about Brentford. I think we'll beat Sunderland. We should beat Sunderland. Sunderland are not bad, though. But what I would say is that I feel like the Brentford game away, a place that we have been a few times and been absolutely mullered, I think this is a game that we really need to look at. And that game there, I can analyze and I can say, well, we're getting there, guys. Look, we've had a hard week, guys. We've had a tough week. And I'm going to take the win. And I'm happy. I'm delighted with the win, guys. I'm not going to be doom and gloom. But I just want to know how Man United can improve. Can improve their decision-making. The manager can improve his in-game management. And that's what I'm care about. Because I want Man United to succeed at the end of the day. And I see characteristics in that team that can succeed. That can do well. But we are our own worst enemy sometimes. I really do feel that we're our own worst enemy. And when you look at the red card, you look at Casemiro's red card, it wasn't a red card. But Casemiro had no need to do that challenge, to make that challenge. There was no need to do it. There wasn't a need to do it. But obviously the referee, you know, with Man United, we haven't had much luck with referees over the years. And, he shouldn't have sent him off. The ref blew the whistle quicker than a Bonnie Blue on a Saturday night. Revert's absolutely right. I said it before the red card that he's going to be looking to equalise the red cards, and he had no choice but to send off Sanchez. There was no choice because at the end of the day, when the goalkeeper comes out and doesn't win the ball, and if Mbremo goes past Sanchez, it's an open goal for Mbremo. It doesn't matter how many defenders are there. It's an open goal for Mbremo. It was a red card. But at that time, I thought to myself, do you know what? We've got to be careful here. And as soon as Casemiro got the yellow card, I think many of us were saying, you know what? Casemiro needs to come off. Casemiro needs to come off because we knew that Casemiro would do something ridiculous. What Man United should have done, they should have took off Casemiro and been a bit more proactive, maybe brought on a Mainu. You know, because we were already a man up. So we didn't need Casemiro. We could have just picked them off and stuff like that. And that's what we really should have done. Luckily, we won the game. Delighted, happy, over the moon. Can't wait to the next game now. Really excited. And because look, we're going to learn a lot more from that Brentford game than the Chelsea game, in my opinion, because I can't really analyze this game. However, I do think Man United showed characteristics in the opening 10 minutes that we were doing very well. We were doing very well. But I can't judge 10 minutes of the game because we've done that against Arsenal. Played very well. In fact, Bella against Arsenal lost the game. So I can't really analyze this game to the point that is going to be judgmental in regards to the next games coming up, of course. Big up Sesko Lover. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Sunday, Ahmad could have passed to Sesko many times. He's too greedy. What's going on with these bicycle kicks lately? I feel bad for Manu. I hope the lad gets more minutes. I absolutely agree with you, Sesko Lover. You're absolutely spot on. There was a moment in the game where Ahmad could have passed the ball. It would have been a tap-in. That's decision-making. Now, if we get that goal and then we're going to be cruising in the game, 3-0, game over, Sesko first goal. And this is the problem that Rasmus Højlund had at Man United. This is the problem that he had. And this is the problem I don't want to have with Sesko, right? Because I felt Sesko played well yesterday in the first half, by the way. I thought he played very well. Set up the red card. Let's not forget that, you know what I mean? And I would say that Ahmad needs to play like a winger, like a creative player. If he's going to play in that number 10 position, he needs to play like a bloody creative player, because I'm looking at him and I'm looking at selfishness. I'm seeing the picture of him and Garnacho at the end holding both shirts. What is going on at this football club in regards to that? I've spoken about this all week, about mentality, about culture. What is the point of posting a picture with Garnacho? What are you doing, mate? What are you doing? Why are you posting a picture with Garnacho? Why are you doing that for? We all know how we feel, how the fans feel about Garnacho right now. Why are you doing that, mate? What is your problem? You're getting paid by Manchester United. That's who you're getting paid by. You do things that focus primarily on Manchester United. This is why I was saying that we need a Roy Keane at this football club. We really do need a Roy Keane at this football club. I put these players into place. Big up, Lord Rodney. How you doing? Big up. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're good. Good to see you, mate. I hope you're blessed. It wasn't second yellow. It was too harsh. But, go into such challenges knowing you have a yellow card. And especially Tyberg, given the history of Man United, given the history of Casemiro and referees, they want to send off a Man United player. We already go into a game where the referee is already slightly against us. You know what I mean? So we need to be careful and not give them an inch. As soon as Casemiro got that yellow card, I think most of us said that, you know what, we need to get him off and get a Manu on the pitch. And that's all we need to do. Because we envisioned this, didn't we, that he was going to get a red card. Harsh yellow, it was a harsh yellow, yeah. But, we give him a chance, don't we? They'll take it. That's what angers me. That's a lot of red cards he's had at United at bad times as well. Casemiro's first yellow was silly. It was, yeah. But we're never going to get the rub of the green. We're never going to get that. We were lucky we got that goal. I mean, I was surprised he sent off the goalkeeper yesterday. Mainstream media will hate it if we win the next two. They won't have to talk about the rest of the Premier League. Will never be as interesting as United. Absolutely, mate. The last thing they want, Tyborg, is Man United to go and win the next two games. Then we won 3 in a row. Then we got the big one against Liverpool, of course, which is going to be extremely difficult. But if we win these next two games, guys, I said it. You can lose to the likes of Liverpool and Man City and Arsenal. That's okay. They're good teams. You can lose to them at the end. We're not on their level yet. We will be, but we're not there yet. We will grow. But we need to win the games that we're supposed to win. The teams that are there or thereabouts, Brentford, for example. Win that game, move up the table, getting close to that top 4, isn't it? We're only 2 points off the top 5, guys. 2 points. This is why I was saying the overreaction was a little bit ridiculous. The overreaction on the manager, the overreaction on the team. Look, I saw things yesterday that I'm not pleased with. I saw things yesterday that I'm pleased with. And I feel like we have to highlight things that we're not pleased with, because we want to improve as a football club and we feel that we want to get up that league. We want to get in that top 4. I would say that the media would have a breakdown. They're going to have excuses. They already have. All they've been talking about is the red card on Sanchez. They haven't been talking about the red card on Casemiro. That's all they've been talking about. They won't talk about how Man United started the game. This is what it is. Hated, adored, never ignored. This is Man United at the end of the day. This is what happens. Even the referees don't like us. This is why I almost had a heart attack when the referee gave a red card to Sanchez, because I thought, he's going to give a yellow card. I was like that, and fair play, he did. Morning, Benny. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, of course. De Ligt was aggressive, which I like. De Ligt is the modern day Vidic for me. De Ligt has been so underrated by the Manchester United fan base, by the media alike. He's been absolutely phenomenal for Manchester United. Him, Mazraoui, Yoro, players like that have been the standout players for Manchester United, in my opinion. They really have. And I thought that in particular, De Ligt needs to be the captain of the team. A lot of us have been saying it for a very long time, that De Ligt needs to be the captain. He needs to be the next one. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, absolutely. Jumped forward as well. Absolutely. Big up. Revert. So Ahmad has been poor form since the end of last season. Yeah, weeks before the end of last season. And you are judged on your last game. And, I'm looking at Ahmad and, a person who believed in him at the beginning. I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, this guy is going the wrong direction. He's going the wrong way, luckily for him, we don't have many players. Right? Luckily for him, we don't have like a right wing back who can attack, right? This is why Ahmad gets into team, because, Alex Ferguson would have dropped him a long time ago, for not doing those balls, not passing the ball. I can give you 10 opportunities yesterday that he could have just slid the ball across the box and it's attacking. And then no one's talking about Ruben Amorim. No one's talking about the negativity. If he just does the right thing. And this is what we're talking about, Tyborg, to me, what's worrying thing is Ahmad, a prime example of a player that plays only for himself and not the team. That fouled volley shows it clearly. Exactly. You remember when Roy Keane, there was Cristiano Ronaldo, and Cristiano Ronaldo done this cheeky little chip and it went over the bar and Roy Keane gave him a rollicking. This is what we're talking about. Trying to be a hero, trying to be a superstar. All Ahmad needed to do in that opportunity was control the ball and smash it in the back of the net. Right? He tried to do an overhead kick, right? Scissor kick, trying to be a hero. That goes to show you where his mentality at. He wants the headlines. He doesn't care about what Man United do. He wants the headlines. And that's what it is at the end of the day, He has been poor and he needs to be highlighted, because at the end of the day, we're going to criticize Garnacho. We're going to criticize all these players. Of course we are. But we got to hold the same energy. We got to have the same energy with every single player, including Bruno Fernandes and all these players. We need to have the same energy with them. He has been poor and he needs to be dropped. However, the problem with what we're having at the moment, especially in that right wing back position, is that we don't have anyone else. We have Dalot and Mazraoui, who are not attacking wing backs. And that's the problem, So he's lucky in that aspect that he can play that right wing. I said it from the beginning. I would have played in Buemo there. But it is what it is. There's a number of problems at that team. As I said, we highlighted it before the game, the midfield situation with Bruno in there. Look, at the end of the day, we won the game. Fantastic. We won the game. And I'm happy with that. But what we have to understand is that we can't really learn much from this game, because we were down to 10 men. They were down to 10 men for half of it. We were down for 10 men for half of it as well. But I would say that Chelsea were the better team in the second half with 10, and they had no attacking players on the pitch. I want to see us against Brentford. I want to see us win against Brentford. Because at the end of the day, even if we don't beat Brentford, it doesn't really matter what happened in the Chelsea game, does it? At the end of the day. Kenny, why did Ahmad lob the ball towards Mbeumo when Sesko was completely unmarked? He don't want him to score, bruv. This is the problem that we're having. As soon, when Alex Ferguson signed Robin van Persie, Alex Ferguson made it very clear under no uncertain circumstances that you pass the ball to Robin van Persie. If you don't pass the ball to Robin van Persie, you will not play for this football club. And this is what Ruben Amorim needs to do. He needs to tell Ahmad, when the player is free in the box, you pass the player to him. Right? It needs to be strict like that and say, if you do not pass the player for him, you are going to be out the team. And that is what he should be doing. I saw a lot of people moaning that Ahmad doesn't play, Ahmad this, Ahmad that. I come from a generation of Lee Sharp, Andre Kanchelskis, Cristiano Ronaldo, David Beckham. Rod Wallace. A lot of great players who played on the wing for Man United. And I know what a great winger is. And you think Beckham, right? Beckham wasn't selfish. Beckham used to pass the ball. First thing opportunity, get in the box, right? In the box. That's why Dwight York did so well. That's why Andy Cole did so well. That's why Teddy Sheringham did so well. That's why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did so well, because David Beckham was not greedy. Ryan Giggs was not greedy. Both of them were more intent in creating as a winger than thinking about your own personal glory. And that's what I'm talking about. And if he doesn't want to concentrate on his personal, if he doesn't want to concentrate on the team, I'm going to call him out, because I've been saying this for weeks now. Now, look, guys, we won the game. Delighted. Again, absolutely delighted. Brentford is a big one for me. It is like an education, isn't it? where we are, because as I said, I can't really take much from this game. I only could take the win. And, I know Man United have played good football over this season. We've done well against Arsenal. We played some pretty stuff, but we weren't scoring goals. So they went down to 10 men. We scored 2 goals. Great stuff. But now I want to see it on a consistent level. Benny asked the same question. I asked the same. Big up, Benny. Dorgu is not the biggest problem out of this team. That's for sure. He will improve as time goes by. Absolutely. I've no problem with Dorgu at the moment because Dorgu's a young player. And in hindsight, he's been thrown into the deep end, isn't he? And I feel like I've seen things about Dorgu's game that I love. He was very good tackling yesterday. His recovery was very good. Final ball is suspect, but that happens with a young player. I felt that he made great telling tackles, important tackles. When Chelsea were about to counter-attack, he made some good tackles. But final ball needs to improve. Pace needs to improve. Taking on your man needs to improve. All that stuff, of course. And I wouldn't criticize him too much about that. Benny, ultimately, it was all about 3 points. I said it was, but we also have to look at the bigger picture here. It was about 3 points. Brentford is coming up thick and fast. And as we know, Brentford are not a team that you can mess around with like that. And we've been there before with Brentford, been smacked up by 4 goals. So I want to see the Brentford game because I feel like we need to call out the mistakes in the team so that we don't do these mistakes again. We should have won 4-5-0 yesterday. Arsenal, City, and Liverpool would have probably smacked 5 past Chelsea yesterday when they went down to 10 men, right? And we need to try and be more clinical and try and be more less selfish with the ball, because it is all about 3 points. Exactly, it is. But we have to look at also the bigger picture, and we have to look at the positives and the negatives, not just the positives. The positive was the result. The positives were we started the game well. We started on the front foot, just like I've said we should. And but we have to also point out the bad things as well. Tyborg, Stephen, it's the money. It gets to their heads. I agree. Amarim would rather place Cunha centre forward ahead of at the moment. I don't mind Cunha. Absolutely. De Ligt was definitely man of the match for me as well. Absolutely. Stephen probably made a couple of good games last season and he thinks he's made it. I mean, look, guys, we have to call it out because at the end of the day, look, he thinks that he's above he's where he is. He thinks he's above what he is. For me, he's too small. I called him a glorified Aaron Lennon. That's not, at the end of the day, that's what I think. I don't think he will get anywhere near any great Man United team. Anywhere near. I said Luke Chadwick is better than him. And I stand by that. I would say that Luke Chadwick was far more effective with the ball. And I would say that. And he just needs to improve. Show me. Prove me wrong. Show me that you want to improve. Show me that you can cross the ball. Show me that you can hit the ball into the striker and pick the right pass out. Because whilst Ahmed is not passing the ball to Sesko, our £70 million striker, he's making it more and more difficult for Sesko as well. And that is what I get disappointed with, Sesko could have had a goal yesterday. Amarim says he will definitely change the system, but he says he needs time. I'm backing him all the way and trusting his direction for our success. He needs to sort out the in-game management. Nearly cost us yesterday. It can't be cowardice at Man United. Let me tell you something about Man United, right? You can't be a coward. You can't be a coward. And some of the game changes yesterday were cowardice. All right? They were. The starting lineup was cowardice. The game changes were cowardice, and we have to call that out. As a person who backs Ruben Amorim, and you know that, he needs to stop being a coward, right? And that's what he needs to stop doing. Like the unnecessary change of Sesko and all that was unnecessary yesterday. We invited pressure onto ourselves, Ahmad was just overrated to begin with. Good talent who is currently on bad form. No, not Ahmadinho. Twitter keep hyping him up. Yeah, he's not good enough. Ahmad not good enough. I agree, Benny. I don't think he is. I mean, he's not. I can see he's not. Who was your man of the match, Sal? De Ligt for me all day long. Matthias De Ligt was my man of the match. Felt it was solid. Again, absolutely brilliant. Behind him, I'm very conflicted because I felt Embremo was brilliant. I thought Embremo was very, very dangerous. Whenever he got the ball, as usual, Embremo makes things happen. Whenever Embremo gets the ball, you've got that sense that something's going to happen, don't you? Even against Man City, when we were poor, he was the shining light. And I think between him and De Ligt, they were both brilliant for me. I thought it cannot be underestimated how good Embremo was. Changed the game, guys. He changed the game. He's the one who created the red card. He won us the game. It was Embremo who won us the game, in my opinion. For Embremo was man of the match. I can't argue with that. Absolutely. Can't argue with that, Benny. Absolutely not. Bremo played well, especially first half. My man of the match was Mazraoui. Mazraoui's been a great signing for Man United. One of the better signings over the last 12 years, in my opinion. Absolutely. Lord Rodney, thinking of making my first YouTube video, Sal, so stay tuned or not for that. Big up, Lord Rodney. Let me know, brother. Stephen, I would say that the game is very saturated, at the moment. So good luck with that. But the players need to be told not to give the referee and other players the chance to get sent off. And that's something that Alex Ferguson would have done. He would have straight away told Casemiro. He probably would have took him off, if I'm being honest. Morning, Sal. We got the 3 points. Bit up, William. Absolutely. We're delighted, of course, with that. Of course. I think Mainu is getting sold in the winter. I mean, obviously, Dabisas, big up Dabisas, hope you're doing well. I think that Mainu is a problem now. I feel sorry for him. I think he should have been given more of an opportunity. I think that Casemiro should have came off yesterday. Mainu should have came on. I think it's bad. I do think the way he's been treated is bad. I won't say anything more than that. I just think he needs more opportunities. Absolutely. Brentford looks shy last night. Here's hoping. I mean, we make teams look like prime Barcelona, though. We'll make Brentford look like Atletico Madrid, considering their card. Sanchez, thank you so much, you absolute legend, for the super chat. Thank you very much. You're a diamond, mate. Your Philip pre-game was spot on. Happy for the win. Happy about the performance. Not too much man and match for me. Is either Bremo or Maguire. There you go, Sanchez. There you go. Maguire didn't put a foot wrong. I thought Maguire did very well yesterday as well. Didn't put a foot wrong. Good performance. Solid performance defensively for Man United. Apart from Bremo, I thought was brilliant on attacking. I thought everything he did yesterday, he looked dangerous. And you know what I was saying? I was saying it during the preseason. I was saying it that when we were playing Fiorentina, I was seeing these whipped balls from Embremo, these whipped balls coming in. And I thought that guy, he needs to do that whipped ball every time, because when Sesko gets on under of it, you know what I mean? That's it. I wonder how Sesko's thinking. Sanjay, you're an absolute legend. Thank you for supporting the channel, my friend. Really appreciate it. As usual, really appreciate it, my friend. Really do. Lord Rodney, everybody is free to say what they want, but you're not free from the consequences. That's true. Yeah. Everyone, that's true. You have to take what you say. You have to accept the consequences of what you say. And that unfortunately, what we say, Lord Rodney, our captain, went out in the media last week and spoke about Lenny Yoro and threw him under the bus, right, to the media, not to the Man United dressing room, to the media. He also liked a tweet from Jadon Sancho, and we all know what Jadon Sancho is at Man United, He also posted a basically blowing smoke up Rashford's backside on Instagram. For me as a Man United fan, what I witnessed in my life, I don't want to see that. It's the small margins. It's the small margins that are the difference in football, and the Premier League especially. It's the small margins. It's the difference between coming sixth and coming fourth. And this is what I'm talking about. The mentality, the culture at the football club is flawed, and people are not looking at that. Ahmad yesterday took a photo with Garnacho and posted it all over social media. What are you doing, bro? What are you doing? Read the bloody room here. You know what I mean? And this is what I'm talking about. Read the room. It's ridiculous. William, we still ain't out the woods yet, but credit where credit is due. They battled harder conditions. Should have done better, William. Should have won 3 or 4. But we take the win all day long. And that's what I would say. Guys, absolutely. Call out things. Bruno was good, but Dorgo was my man in the match. See, I see, there you go, the difference of opinion. Some people think Dorgo did well. I felt he did well as well. I think defensively, Man United did very well. I do think that. I don't think they put much of a foot wrong. No running, still at loan. Sesko up front, Cunha and Embremo on the wings, Bruno behind them, and Mainu Ugarte in the middle. This is the tack I would like to see in the next game, but I have my doubts. Look, you know what? I can't agree with you more. Tyborg, I agree with that lineup. What can we do? We know the lineup. We know we have a similar theory in regards to what the lineup should be, but will he do it? Yesterday we started well, but it was so early in the game when the red card came that we can't really analyze the game to an extent that where we are certain that we turn a corner. Brentford game is the big one, and we could go to Brentford, and we can get unstuck. But if we go to Brentford, we win, and then we go and beat Sunderland, then we get the confidence, and hopefully we can move on from there. I still don't trust the lineup, though. I don't trust this lineup. Ahmed and Bruno need to be in the bench for a while, but like Sal said, United haven't got enough players. Big mistake not getting two midfielders in. Agree, Stephen. This is exactly what it is. Ahmed will play right wing back or Ahmed will play number 10 because we haven't got anyone else, and that is the problem with it, As an attacking wing back, who else have we got as an attacking wing back? Nobody. The only attacking wing back, and he's not even a wing back, is Ahmed. And he's not even a wing back. And we can't really do nothing. We have to make, we have to make basically lemonade out of, lime. That's what we have to do. It's ridiculous. None of us are Leeds on this channel, Rodney. Absolutely not. Can't stand Leeds. If you know, you know. Not going to be negative after 3 points. Was pissed off with the lineup, but we got the job done. It's not about being negative, William. It's about being constructive. It's about understanding. We don't get giddy. We don't go over the top. This is not the Care Bears, right? We don't go over the top. We have to call out the problems before they become a problem. You know what I mean? Because we're happy now, but we should have won that game 4 or 5-0. And City, Liverpool, and Arsenal would have won that game 4 or 5-0, right? And what we need to understand is that when we come up against Brentford, if we play like that, we're not going to win. And that's what we have to say. So what we have to do is we have to take the positives with the result, with the positives, but we also have to talk about the negatives. It's not negative. Negative is a snowflake word that people throw at you when they want to feel good about themselves. But we have to call out things. I was excited yesterday. I was happy yesterday. But as a proper football analyst, you have to call out the good and the bad. And as Man United fans, we have to worry about the good and the bad, right? Because if we don't worry about the bad, we don't really care for the football club. We're just caring about vibes. You know what I mean? And that's what I would say. Big up, Gary. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. I'm covering for my win celebration. Big up, Gary. Good to see. Brentford will be a test because we lose that on back to square one. Exactly what I'm talking about, William. Exactly. This is why we have to be serious and we have to hold the mistakes accountable. Same here, Gary. Absolutely. I don't know why we're celebrating too much. I was happy, but I wasn't exactly jumping up and down, running down the street naked. The second half, because obviously I'm looking forward now. I'm looking forward to the next game now. I'm happy. That is what I would say. The second half was poor. We just dropped back and invited pressure. Thank fuck Chelsea didn't have many great. The saving grace for us yesterday, we've at 7, is that Enzo Maresca was naive with his substitutes. He was too quick. He was too giddy with his substitutes. He took off all the attacking players too soon, in my opinion. Gary, will they let us bring the torrential rain as one of the sub players to Brentwood? Brentwood? That's in Essex. Absolutely. Big up, Gary. Beckham defo not greedy and could laser a 50-yard pass. Exactly. This is what we're on about. We need to not be greedy because I want to see the right pass given, because we're going to make Sesko struggle, guys. Sesko's going to struggle like this. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. Beckham can pick a pass. He was a team player. Absolutely. Arriva at 7. Of course, he's from East End of London. Where else? Good morning, Sal. Some people harsh on Dorgu. Some of our fans are not patient. I felt Dorgu was all right yesterday. I felt that Dorgu saved us a number of times yesterday in regards to the counter-attacks from Chelsea. He made some great tackles for me. Absolutely. Glorified Anthony Dos Santos. There you go, Kenny. Big up. Positive 3 points, negative. We know some of these players, Brentford will be a bigger test than Chelsea. Exactly, William. I'm delighted about the result. I did say 2-1 to Man United at the beginning anyway, so I don't know why. But you know what? I'm delighted about the result. I'm over the moon. We beat Chelsea. We can, but I'm not delusional. I'm a realist. Right, and I know that some of the things that we did yesterday, this is the Premier League. You know what I mean? And some of the things that we did yesterday will come unstuck against Liverpool, against Brentford, maybe against Sunderland. I want to see us make the right decisions in the bot when we're on the attacking third, because this is the contribution. This is why we don't score enough goals. We need to make the right decision, and I want us to do that. And when it comes to Brentford next week, I'm already looking forward to it. I wish it was tomorrow. I'm already looking forward to it. Let's hope. De Ligt was brilliant. Absolutely. There were a few stand-up performances there. De Ligt, Dorgu, Mbeumo, very good performances there. It's a difficult one to pick, guys. It really is. You know what I mean? I would say if I was to weigh everything up in regards to the game, I would say Mbeumo was my man of the match. And De Ligt was a man of the match as well. It's very close, but I would say, like, Impremo was my man of the match. It's a shame we can't pick 2 man of the matches, isn't it? David says, Impremo is the only flanker who is trying to link with Sesko. Exactly, David says, this is what we're talking about. Impremo is thinking more about assisting Sesko than Ahmad is. Ahmad's thinking about assisting himself, right? He needs to be dropped. Stephen, delete future captain if Bruno leaves. I think United will need to buy a few players that can lead the club on and off the pitch in the next 2 years. I agree, Stephen. Man United lack leaders. I do think that everyone knows that we should have signed a midfielder in the summer. We all know that should have happened. It didn't happen. And it's evident now. You can see where Man United need a midfield, don't we? We don't really have a midfield, to be honest with you. Jury's still out with Ugarte, of course, but it is very difficult to play alongside Bruno. As I said, it's very difficult. But the jury's still out anyway, regardless. Casemiro, he's on the end of his career, isn't he, in regards to the Premier League? And, he's too slow and he makes rash decisions sometimes. So, the Brentford game, guys. I'm afraid Sesko could end up like Højlund if things don't continue like this. These players made Højlund struggle too. Yeah. We all know Højlund is not as bad a player as people are making out. He scored 16 goals in his first season. Do you know what I mean? We all know that he's not as bad as people make out. But you know what strikers thrive off of? You know what they thrive off? Confidence. They thrive from confidence. This is what great strikers thrive from. It's confidence. And when you're not passing the ball to him, and when he's not scoring goals, 1, 2, 3, 4 games without a goal, then it's going to start being like, oh, you know what? It's going to be difficult. Like I said yesterday, remember Diego Forlan? Diego Forlan had 27 games without a goal for Man United. Eventually, we got a penalty. David Beckham won a penalty. And David Beckham was going to take the penalty, but he gave the ball to Diego Forlan to get his goal. Because he wanted Diego Forlan to, to score goals and to get into that confidence. Eventually, Diego Forlan started scoring goals for Man United, scored goals for Villarreal as well, and he became a great player. You need to help your strikers because the striker is the one that's going to bow you out. The striker is the one who's going to get you the goal. You know what I mean? When we were praised on Ryan Giggs and David Beckham and Lee Sharp and Andre Kanchelskis, do you think these players cared about themselves on the wings? It was more about focusing on assisting Andy Cole, Dwight York, Teddy Sheringham, Mark Hughes, wherever it was about assisting the strikers first because the strikers are the striker. They're a striker for a reason. We won a league through Robin Van Persie. Because Alex Ferguson told the players, you better pass the ball to Robin Van Persie, otherwise you're not playing in this team. And that is what Ruben Amorim needs to do. If you do not get the ball to Sesko, you do not play in this team. It's as simple as that. And that's how it should be. Absolutely. Ephraim, Sal, Ahmad has to be benched. Yeah, he does. I agree with that. Dembo, good morning. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Ahmed's attitude is giving me bomb squad vibes. If he carries on, he can F off or like his pal Garnacho. Why did he take a photo with Garnacho? This is the thing. It really bugs me. I can take a bad performance. Bad performances happen. But things you can control, things you can stop doing, don't do that. Why are you taking a picture with Garnacho, mate? Are you a clown? He's a clown, mate. You know what I mean? Madness. Ephraim, Sal, Delict was brilliant. He's brave defender. Absolutely brilliant signing. No wonder Bayern Munich were very devastated when they got rid of him. James Scanlon could have been brought up from the under-21s and give the opportunity ahead of Gania. I agree with that, Benny. 100%. Mantato. He can as well. Revert 7. Mazraoui is underrated because he is not a difference maker like a striker. He gets the job done. Happy with Mazraoui all day long. Revert 7, delighted with Mazraoui. I think he's been one of the better signings in the last 10, 12 years. Him and Delict. Absolute bargain. Thank you, Bayern Munich. Thank you, Bayern Munich, of course. Smash the lights. Thank you so much, my friend. Big up, Ephraim. Thank you, mate. Consistently. Exactly. Ephraim. Sal, it's brilliant feeling when you are winning. We need to see the next game. Look, at the end of the day, what do the old Man United teams do? We won the game on the day, on the evening. We're happy. We're delighted. No more negativity, hopefully, for this week. But we're going to call out the problems that we have because this is the match review. Okay, so we call out the problems. We won the game and then we cross it off and we go to the next game. And that is what it's all about, right? We need to talk about where we can improve. Now, there's no point beating Chelsea if we go and lose to Brentford. We know that. You know what I mean? There's no point. So I want to see Man United win that game against Brentford. There's no Thomas Frank. There's no Imprema playing for them. He's playing for us. I do want to see a performance against Brentford, and I'm eager for that game. I'm anxious for that game. Revert 7. I like Delict and Euro, but where was the organisation of marking for Chalobah's goal? Great cross, but Reece James, but it was a free header. The problem I'm having, Revert 7, a problem I'm having with the defence. Let me tell you the problem. Zonal marking. I think Man United zonally are not good enough for zonal marking. I've always believed in man marking, number one, but I think that you should mix it up a little bit. Not just have one way of defending, which is zonal marking, which Man United are doing at the moment. Man United need to be more man for man, which they could, because they ain't got the IQ, some of them, I just feel like Delict and that are better when they're man markers. They're aggressive. They can put the player off and stuff like that. Man, I've never believed in zonal marking. I don't think it works in the Premier League. Only on some occasions you can use it. But I don't think it works in the Premier League. I think Man United need to stop their zonal marking situation and need to mark the man, in my opinion, which is why the player Chalobah got away with it, I'm sure if Ghana was in Roy Keane era and he played, Keane would have put him in the bed for 2 weeks. Unfortunately, Ghana is in this era. Our players would be hugging after the match. Why was he doing that? I would say don't do that. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. We knew these issues would rise by not signing. We knew it. Yeah, we knew it. I mean, and this is going to be a problem going forward. Gutted Sesko went off. Want the boy to do goal. Don't want his confidence to drop before he gets going. I agree, William. And this is something that I want to talk about because I believe in Sesko. And I believe Sesko's going to score 20, 30 goals a season. I really do think that. But he needs an opportunity. He needs to. Why was he sacrificed yesterday? When he's the only one that can hold up the ball, bring other players into play. We were not playing 10 against 11. It was 10 against 10. And that's one thing I would say. But we won the game, and I don't want to bring too much of a downer on it because we won the game, and I'm positive about that, of course. What did you think about Bruno's performance, Sal? Average. Surprised he was taken off, to be honest. But I can't really analyze performances because we were playing against 10 men. I can't really analyze that. I felt like he was ill-disciplined a few times. Thankful for the goal, right? Thankful for the goal. Great header again. Great assist. But yeah, average for me. An average performance, in my opinion. Gary, Sal, do you think that Amram is managing off no discipline, Bruno, no discipline in Bruno, Euro out, Manu, and obvious favouritism? Is this what creates a bomb squad? Yes, Gary, 100%. When players can get picked for the team, despite throwing a young player under the bus, despite liking Sancho's tweet, despite doing a glowing reference promotional tweet about Marcus Rashford on Instagram, despite doing that, he gets picked. And Euro gets dropped, the one he was criticising. This sends a bad message to the team. This sends a bad message to the squad. And as you said there, Gary, you're spot on. It creates a bomb squad, doesn't it? It creates that feeling of Bruno can't do nothing wrong. He's a leader. He's not allowed to. He's not allowed to be dropped. And that's why I have a problem with it. Sal, Sesko was so good that we have to give him more tight service. He'll be okay. He will be okay, but we have to pass to him. Gary seems to be but again, all managers have their favourites. Not like that, Dabizas. Not like that. Not when you call out the manager. Most managers would drop him for that. He has to be dropped for that, for what he did. Not about performances. We're not talking about performances. If you understand football, players need to be dropped if they call out players behind the scenes. What happened to Garnacho? And he didn't call out any players. He called out himself. He was talking about himself. And Bruno spoke about a player. He shouldn't be allowed. And nothing can be done about that. Yes, it can be, Davidzas. It can be. Don't talk shit. Freddie, morning, Sal and chat. We got points celebrating a win, but we need to feed Sesko. I agree. Arista says Sesko was brilliant, underrated. I see what he's a very good player, mate. In his service. William, crossing wingers for Sesko is the key. That's United. Exactly. It's no point having Sesko up there if we're not crossing to him. Taiwo, good morning. It's better we buy a midfielder and expensive wingers by January if we want a productive to Sesko. I agree. Very impressed with Bremo, though. Benny, Cunha should be back next week. The more Bremo, Sesko, and Cunha play together. You know what's going to happen, though, Benny, don't you? He's going to play Mason Mount. You know that, isn't it? Paul Daniel, good morning all. Hope you're well. Big up, Paul. Hope you're well. Did you know that South London is the best region of the world in producing top players today? I didn't know that. Although East London is the smallest part of London and produced more legends than South London. David Beckham came from my town, Leytonstone. Absolutely. East London's the key. East London's the proper place of London, mate. F South London. Will Bruno give a penalty to Sesko? No, he wouldn't. He should have done by now. I do not see Bruno giving a penalty to anyone. He wants to score badly. I mean, yeah, it's wrong, really. United should be tapping into talent there. United should tap into talent everywhere. South London is full of players. So is East London. East London's got more grit than South London. East London is a proper gritty place. Everything that comes out of East London is a genius, mate. You know where grime was invented in East London? You know what? The Iron Maiden came from East London. Blur came from East London. Beckham came from East London. Lots of players. Sol Campbell came from East London. You know, loads of players come from East London, mate. Not just South London. Lisa and Rice, for example, I can give you loads of things. East London for life. I'll give you loads of East London. You're going to need to scout in East London more. Elisa, not really thin. You guys are up early. We're always up early. Even Casemiro has given penalties to his teammates. Cristiano's good, but never seen Bruno do it. He's selfish, guys. I mean, he don't care about the team. My man of the match would delete me too, Ellen, but one of them, I would say a big shout out to him, Bremo. And, you know, Walaikum salam, fan. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Can't wait for the Lamens debut against Brentford. I'll piss their Brentford. Now, Bayern is going to start. Don't think Lamens is going to start. Lamens start should have been yesterday. Morning, Sal. There's no team in Premier League that's better than a Man United in the first 10 minutes of a game. It's true. This is why I can't read too much into the game. This is exactly what I'm talking about, Dan, bro, because we've started games well in the past and we faded away, haven't we? So this is why I can't analyze the game until I see the Brentford game because of the 10 men. Yeah, we've done the job. We started well, but we have done that in the past. Exactly, Don Bell. Great comment. I don't know what happened, It was a South London love fest. I don't know why. Sava used to employ a backline coach, and it worked like a dream. A backline and goalkeeper was in sync. I agree. Sava used to deploy a backline coach, and it worked like a dream. He used to deploy a coach. He used to have a good coach. Yeah, I think he did regret it. He made too many mistakes. He went overly giddy with his substitutions in the attacking sense. He should have kept at least Cole Palmer on there. I guarantee if Cole Palmer was playing for Chelsea yesterday, the full 90 minutes, God forbid. Still 50-50 on Amarim. He's a coward yesterday. This is a problem. Favourites FC. William, I mean, he needs to stop that. I agree. I'm happy we won. We needed a win, and we got it. Yeah, now we move on to the next one, but he can't make the stupid changes that he did yesterday. I said it at halftime. Wrong changes, and it almost cost us. We went cowardice, and we should never go cowardice as Man United. Guys, we all know it's nothing to do with system, fan, but he made bad in-game decisions. The team was wrong initially, and we called that out because that team's not going to get us far. It's not, and we've already proven that. Bruno, it needs to be people can't see past him. I don't want him in the team. God knows how he acts behind the scenes. I think he should have been dropped, but you know what it is. What it is. He's Portuguese. He'll probably get picked. You know what I mean? Look at most South London players. Londoners are playing top-level football today. Look at most East Londoners. They're playing top-level football today. East London is the bed of talent. Did you know that? It's the bed of talent. It's known around London. It's the bed of talent. South London, they just have bigger clubs. They have Crystal Palace and things like that. East London don't have many football clubs. You know what I mean? And there's loads of clubs in South London. But what is this made about South London Love Fest? Let's talk about music and everything about East London. More talent has come from East London than anywhere else in London. Well, Sal, Iron Maiden, the best band in the world, pal. Absolutely love Iron Maiden. But from East London, let's talk about legends of East London, greats of East London. You know what I mean? You know, I don't know. I mean, I've lived in Croydon, by the way. I've lived in Croydon. I've lived in Borough in London. And obviously I lived in Surrey as well. I know all about Surrey, but I was born and and raised in East London. David Beckham. All I need to say is just David Beckham. End. Full stop. There are, you could argue, two of the greatest players all time. I mean, you've got Sol Campbell, who was in East London. He's from Hackney. Worked in East London for 16 years. Good people. Thank you, mate. William. I don't think Romans will start. I don't think he will start now. Yesterday was the start for him. I've lived all over London as well. Croydon, and that's not London, but obviously I lived there. I'm born in East London, Leytonstone. I lived in Chingford. I worked in Stratford. I've worked in Leytonstone. I've worked all over the Hackney. I've worked everywhere. I've lived in Croydon. I've lived in Borough. I've lived in all these places. Worked all over the place. East London for life. It's all about East End, mate. East End is the proper place, mate. Keep a level head, people. Brentford first before. Exactly, William. This is what we're trying to say. Exactly, my man. Exactly. My husband are from London. He hates London and won't even go back for a weekend. London's a great place, Ellen. London's a great place. It's the bed of talent. When you think about London as a whole, pound for pound, it's a great place. I mean, it invented football. You know what I mean? That's enough. We should have finished the game at halftime. Absolutely. We should be 3 or 4-0. I list them off if you want. I list mine off as well if you want, Revert 7. I'm not interested though, Revert 7. You're boring me now, bruv. At the end of the day, I can list mine off as well. I can list everything off. Sal, a win and a 3 points is very welcome. Absolutely. Ephraim. Benching Euro is a harsh, made mistakes. Our starting 11. Get over it, Revert 7, because I can do that as well. I've been there musically, film, sport. List them off. I would school you, brother. Sorry, but I don't want to know. I'm not interested. I'm a Londoner. That's it. Who cares about South and West and East and that? I'm not London. The thing with South London, they always need to big themselves up. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing. East London, we don't. We come from the craze. Do you know what I mean? I lived in Barking for 6 months, Sal. I worked in Victoria for 95, 96. Big up. Irfan, let's see if things change if we play Bruno. Let's see if things change when we play Brentford away. Exactly, Irfan. That's the most. Hackney Marshes is where the action is. Hackney Marshes is where all the talent comes from, mate. I used to play at Hackney Marshes, and that's where all the talent. Even Lionel Messi visited Hackney Marshes because that's how great Hackney Marshes is, Lord Rodney, isn't it? That is how great Hackney Marshes is. Lionel Messi, Eric Cantona visited Hackney Marshes because that is the bed of talent. Beating Chelsea was crucial yesterday. Now 6 points in 2 games before break should put us in the top. I mean, I think we can win both games. I think we're going to win both games, guys. We have to believe. Of course. Gary, I was born in West London, and I guess the only thing we have is Paddington. Paddington Bear. There you go, mate. Absolutely, Gary. Can't beat that. Paul, my mum came from Kingston upon Thames. I worked there in the M&S. I worked there in M&S, not far from Dorking, where I used to live, William. Not far from there. Very nice place. You're from North London now. Yeah, North London. We were building up to Liverpool game. I'm just interested to see how it unfolds. Yeah, exactly. Guys, I want to thank everyone for joining me. Thank you for the conversation. It's been a great show, as usual. Yeah, get sways off the conversation a little bit. But yeah, we need to get Liverpool, another league. Oh, don't say that, mate. Don't say that. Don't say that. My uncle lives in Stones Throw away. When I went stay with him as a kid, walked through the park. I lived at Stones Throw as well, Rodney. Just by Leyton Orient. It's just around the corner. Get his old house, and you could watch some top quality football. Yeah, Sunday League, everything. I used to play there all the time, every weekend. Guys, absolutely. Big up Revert 7. It's all love. Eva Irfan. I guess me being born in East London don't count. Whereabouts was she born in East London, Irfan? I think Lamens should be starting after the next international break. I don't think he will now. I honestly think that Lamens won't start the next game. I honestly think that, and that's a worry for me. That is a worry for me because I mean, when is he going to get his game? When is he going to get game time? In the game, management is very poor and taking Sesko killed our attack intent. I agree with Chuninho there. I agree. We can't do that against Brentford, and we need to stop being cowardice. And that's one thing I'll say. Guys, thank you for joining me. All laughs, all giggles, all banter. But great result for Man United. At the end of the day, we won 2-1. I'm happy. Bring on Brentford, guys. It's about time we showed those bees. We gave them a sting, guys. That's what we need. We need to give the bees a sting. Absolutely. Have a great day, great night, great evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn, and I'll see you later on for Chatterbox, guys. Am I doing Chatterbox? It might be a watch along. Keep an eye out. Keep an eye out, guys, and don't forget to put your notifications on when I go live, please, guys. Big up, everyone. Tyborg, I've never been to London. It's in my plans. I was only going to Manchester, but now no, it's good either. Only museums, Old Trafford. London's a great place, mate. London's a great place. It's dangerous, but it's a good place, guys. Yeah, and people don't understand that. Absolutely, just jealous of London. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. Have a good day, great night. I'm Sal Warner. Take it easy, peace.